Good morning here from the sunny and humid climes of southern Thailand, but actually this morning it is not so humid and we have a little breeze going here, which is very refreshing. It's not so common. Topic of today's video is Christian or Muslim. What kind of woman should you date when in Indonesia? Or the topic also could be what kind of woman do I prefer when dating in Indonesia? My experience of dating Christian and Muslim women, because I have dated them both categories of women. But before I start, I want to give you a little bit of a context. This video, of course, is in response to the success of one of my previous videos, which I released a few weeks ago, why I love dating Indonesian women. I received many positive feedback and a lot of questions, and people also want me to actually elaborate a little bit more on Indonesia, on various topics, traveling, safety, girls, women, etc., etc. And this is exactly why I actually did this video in the first place. Why I released it, because Indonesia is underrated, definitely. There are many expats living in Indonesia, for sure, I know that. They're living there and working there. But in terms of tourism, for example, you cannot compare it to Thailand or the Philippines. Anyway, but I had the pleasure and the privilege of living and working in Indonesia for more than, I think, 3.5 years. I lived in different places like Jakarta, Medan, and also Batam. And of course I visited Bali, but I haven't really lived there and worked there. So I traveled the country a bit and know what's going on. And I dated women, a lot of women, inside and outside of Indonesia. So here's the context. As you know, Indonesia is it's a Muslim country, predominantly Muslim. The Muslim faith is in the majority here. We're talking about 87% of Indonesians claim to be Muslims. And just actually a tiny minority of 7.4% are Christians. Tiny is relative, because I think Indonesia today has a population of 270 million people. And by the way, Indonesia is not a Muslim state by its constitution. Many people think that. But Indonesia is perhaps the largest Muslim community, state-wise, but it's not a Muslim state. And this is maybe surprising to many people. They will figure that out when they come to the country and visit it, There are more than 1,300 ethnic groups in Indonesia, and the country is barely 70 years old. So you can already see it's a very, very diverse nation, if you actually can call it a nation at all. But the Indonesians, they have a sense of belonging together, of course, and they are proud to be Indonesians. And so dating Christian and Muslim women, what is my experience? What should you go for? You should go for both categories, because both women, both categories, let's call it categories, okay, are very open and open-minded to date foreigners. And especially when it comes to the Muslim woman. I've dated a lot of Muslim Indonesian women inside Indonesia, and they were totally open to date foreigners regardless of your faith or belief. I know of many expatriates who live in Indonesia who are actually married to a Muslim Indonesian woman. That's not a big deal, because you have to convert to be a Muslim this is actually what is still, I think, enforced in Indonesia. Interfaith marriages are, to my knowledge, still not, they are still banned. Yeah? They are not allowed. So you have to convert on paper. Yeah? I know of a colleague of mine who married an Indonesian woman many years ago. She is now his wife. And yeah, he converted on paper. He even had to give himself a Muslim name, and he called himself Ali Baba, you know. When he told me that story, I just was laughing. I don't know whether or not you have to get circumcised, though. I don't know about that. Might be the case, but I'm not sure. But other than that, I heard a few other things, and I also did some research. You pay some money to some people, and then this so-called conversion process is pretty fast done with. So this is what you have to do in Indonesia still today if you are a Christian and you want to marry a Muslim woman. But that's not really the point, in my opinion. The point is really, does the Muslim woman actually want to marry a Christian man? And there you go already. I told you this already in my previous video. The Indonesian women are very, very open-minded. They are not like strictly Muslim and just want to date a Muslim man. But of course, on the other side, again, the majority of Indonesian women actually are probably not interested to date foreigners, and the majority of Muslim women prefer a Muslim man. But it's not like in Saudi Arabia or maybe in Dubai, where the Muslim women just stick to their Muslim community and just want to date and marry a Muslim man. In Indonesia, the situation is way more liberal, way more tolerant. The girls are way more open-minded, also due to the fact what I spoke about in my latest video, the economic situation, the economic reasons, the subconscious economic fears and all that kind of stuff. Certainly also in Indonesia plays a role why Indonesian women, be it Christians or Muslims, are interested in dating Western men. I dated an Indonesian single mom. She was my colleague at work many years ago. And there was no issue at all, because I knew from her, she told me that her goal was to get married to a bule. A bule is it's a foreigner. In Indonesia they call it bule. It refers to a foreigner. And her goal was to get married to a foreigner, to a white-skinned foreigner. That was her goal. And it's funny, her best girlfriend, her name was Jenny. She actually was already married to an Australian guy. So, you know, my girlfriend at the time also wanted to get married to a foreigner. That was her goal. There was no way around it. I knew she had a kid already, a little boy. At the time, the boy was 6 years old, I believe. And she was a Muslim, but she was not dressed up like a Muslim woman, also not in public. But she didn't care. She was okay. She had probably her own motivations and agenda, even why she wanted to date a foreigner. And I'm not the guy who got married to her, obviously. The whole thing didn't work out at the end with her. But she is now married to a British guy for a few years already. They live in Bali. And she is happily married, and yeah, I mean, and I can also see it on her Instagram posts and stuff like that. So she is really, really enjoying, let's say, the Western lifestyle. I mean, her husband, I think, is kind of wealthy, and she also shows it on her Instagram posts and Facebook posts and stuff like that. So yeah, you see, This is what I mean. Nobody can tell me that she is not or was not interested also in the material reasons to get married to a foreigner, but that's not the topic of today. The topic is, or the thing is basically that she was open, she was easygoing. There was no problem at all that I was a foreigner, that I was a Christian. I'm not even a Christian, I'm nothing, you know. I have my own philosophy about life. I was not raised Christian, yeah, just for your information. My mom, she was baptized when she was a little baby. She is a Protestant and she has her faith, but she never raised me Protestant in the Protestant way or in any Christian way or manner. So, but many people think I'm a Christian, you know. So that was my experience with this lady. And I had other dating experience with Muslim girls in Indonesia who were basically the same. They were very open-minded, probably for good reasons, for their own private reasons. And yeah, very open-minded in getting to know foreigners, dating them, and all the other stuff who comes with it. I mentioned also that my last girlfriend was a Christian woman, and that was the woman I spent most of the time together. And yeah, but there was no difference in, let's say, affection between a Christian. There was no, in my experience, there was no difference in affection or dedication or care or love or feelings between a Christian Indonesian woman and Muslim Indonesian woman. Yeah, they both of them showed the same behavior and feelings. So this is what I can tell you here. I cannot say that my Christian girlfriend was more affectionate or more loving, or I don't know. But for sure, they're both categories are very jealous and insecure also. You have to understand, and you know that when you date Indonesian women, this is the same with any Asian girls. You know, they are very, very insecure. Actually, deep inside, they're very insecure. They're actually insecure about themselves, and also because they know the competition is very high. You know, what are the chances for an Indonesian woman or girl to really even meet a foreigner in the streets or even have a coffee date with him? The chances are very, very small, you know. So that's why. Yeah, so coming back to my Christian girlfriend and the experience with the Muslim girlfriend, so there was no difference in affection because the reasons we were together, let's say with my Christian former girlfriend, there were of course the reasons were different. Of course, she was or still is a pretty woman, that's a fact. But also personalities matched greatly between her and me. We had many things in common, same interests. She was very also intellectual, let's say, blessed, you know. She read a lot of books, you know, because I read a lot of books too. So we had many things in common, although you don't need to have everything in common, right, to make a relationship work. So long story short, I couldn't feel any difference whether this woman was a Christian or a Muslim. Neither the Christian girl nor the Muslim girl ever made it a priority or made it a fact or a thing of importance that this kind of faith issue, or that our relationship would hinge upon the faith issue. No, not at all. And I think also the Muslim girls, they understand that, because they can bet that bullies, foreigners, they are no Muslim people except they're coming from the Middle East, so they will not make it an issue. Yeah, but of course, when you are in a dating stage and things like that, that's all cool and easy. But when you later really get intentions to marry a Muslim woman, yeah, then you have to do some, let's say, some paperwork, you know. Call yourself Alibaba on paper, give yourself a Muslim name. I'm just saying that here, I don't want to ridicule Islam, yeah, I don't want to ridicule the Muslim faith. So just for some viewers here who might get it wrong, no. I'm just stating as it is from my perspective and as I was told by these other expats, you know, and, you know, I mean, if you go to an imam in Indonesia as a white guy and get converted within, I don't know, a few hours, or, I mean, even the imam must think something about it, you know. He has his own thoughts, but it's still possible. But anyway, again, it doesn't matter. It shows even how tolerant and easygoing the imams are in Indonesia, right? I mean, how great is that if you just can simply convert to get married? I mean, this is Indonesia. And so, yeah, that's all I can say today. What's the moral of the story? Yeah, be open. Be open-minded, because the girls are also open to you and they are open-minded. And yeah, don't be scared. Don't walk into the dating scenario in Indonesia with prejudices and stuff like that, you know. Just relax, be open, and then see what's happening. And you will see for yourself. I mean, I just looked it up the other day. The female population in Indonesia, aged between 20 years and 39 years old, is 82 million. That's a lot of women. That's a lot of girls. I'm not saying they're all single. I'm not saying they're all married. But, you know, 82 million Indonesian women between the age of 20 and 39, which is actually the age range most men are interested when they're dating a woman. 82 million is a lot of people. This is what we have in Germany. That's the German population. The German population is roughly 83 million. I'm talking in the entire country, male, female, kids, everybody, elderly. So great and plenty of opportunity. And yeah, that's all I want to say for today. Looking forward to your comments. Travel to Indonesia, make your own experiences. You will have a lot of fun. You will have a lot of joy guaranteed. Dating both Christians and also a Muslim woman. I dated women from West Indonesia, from Sumatra. I dated women from Java. I dated women from Bali. I also dated, I forgot to mention this, actually Chinese Indonesian women. Yeah, the three main ethnicities, or the two main ethnicities in Indonesia are the so-called Indonesian race, you know, which actually consists of many hundred different ethnicities and sub-ethnicities. But you also have a Chinese minority. Actually, they only consist of like 3 million altogether, 3 million people of Chinese descent, but you know, they are there in certain areas, especially in Medan and West Sumatra. And I also dated these girls. And before I leave, yeah, let me just quickly talk about this experience. The Chinese Indonesians are actually the ones you would feel mostly comfortable with if you are a Westerner, because the Chinese Indonesian women and girls, they are educated. Their English is very well. Their English level is on a higher level than any other woman in Indonesia in general. Okay, I received comments already by women who complain about what I said in my previous video, that that the level of English is low. It is overall, it's lower than in the Philippines, but of course, yes, I know women in the business sector, and I worked with them. I worked with them in my hotels in Indonesia where I worked before. their English level was very, very good, you know, so no question about that. But you go out on the street, go into the mall, and then try your luck and just chat up a girl in the mall in Indonesia, even in Jakarta, and see if she can speak like a Filipina. I doubt it, you know. But anyway, that's part of the experience. That's another topic, how to approach Indonesian girls. That's a topic for another video. But yeah, the Chinese Indonesians, they are more wealthy. But spoiler alert here: the Chinese Indonesian women, they stick among their own community. They're not so much interested in dating foreigners. They want to date Chinese Indonesians. So this is a very strong community. They wanna stick among themselves. So you have to have very good reasons, or the girl has to have very good reasons, the Chinese Indonesian, why she wants to marry you. Okay, you probably have to be a very wealthy guy, because you know the Chinese, even in Indonesia, they are from Chinese descent, and the Chinese culture is very, very strong. They celebrate their Chinese New Year also in Indonesia, and money plays a very important role in their culture. And I'm pretty sure the family of the girl, of the Chinese Indonesian girl, will look at you and will scrutinize you and wants to know who are you, what have you been doing, what are your plans, what are your goals, what is your bank account, how many investments you have. Unless you cannot prove anything in terms of financial stability, and unless you cannot prove that you really can provide financial safety and security for this Chinese Indonesian woman, then the parents will never ever give their blessing that you can marry her. Even you are, let's say, a white guy, or a white foreigner, or a bully, or whatever you are. That's a different case with the other ethnicities in Indonesia. You know, Indonesia is a poor country still, and especially many girls from the poor provinces, you know, they only have one goal: to get out of there, get out of poverty, and one very lucrative ticket is just to get married with a foreigner. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to your comments. See you next week. Take care. Bye bye.